Look at the UVTV motherfucker. I'm gonna kick spiritual ass and do this for my people. Oh God. Neon nigga feather me in. Today I'm gonna be talking about Pretty Fun. And it's not a chart. With his sun being in Leo and his moon being Gemini slash Cancer. So it's a cuss, but it's more in Cancer. So it's him being center stage about communicating comfort or discomfort, just in general. And I know y'all been waiting on this. I know y'all been waiting on these, cause look, certain niggas be knowing me for certain things. A lot of niggas know me for the astrology shit and the way I be breaking shit down in my own way and all that type shit. A lot of niggas know me for the shit I be talking about when it come to politics. A lot of niggas know me because of creative shit. A lot of niggas know me because of artistic shit. A lot of niggas know me because of my opinions about education, entertainment, culture. You know what I'm saying? A whole bunch of different things. But now I'm getting into a specific thing when it comes to astrology, where I'm breaking down other celebrities or other creative magicians and musicians and all that type shit, mind states, and based upon their different alignments and stuff like that, what helped them be them like that in the first place. You know what I'm saying? And don't try, and I'm not gonna turn this into a thing where it's sitting there all like, oh, I'ma only just be doing this. No, you see my channel, I'll be talking about an array of things. So if a motherfucker start watching these, and it's gonna be like some underground fans or something like that, or mainstream fans, you know what I'm saying, celebrities, whatever the fuck, and I start breaking down these charts based upon astrology, and then motherfuckers just put me in this one little fixture of this box of, oh, this UV nigga, he the astrology guy. You can see my whole channel. It's not just that. I have an array of different things that I'm into. I have an array of different talents. I have an array of different expressions and abilities and capabilities I'm able to do, and I'm expressing all them motherfuckers. Just one of them. You know what I'm saying? This just one of them. The same way I can look at my videos like business and stuff like that. Okay, I got a lot of business when it comes to this astrology shit. This is just one of my businesses, and then that's it. That's all. But yeah, we gonna get into this natal chart with his sun and his moon. I'm gonna really try to break down like the big three for all these. If I don't know their time, I'm gonna just talk about their sun and their moon. But I'm gonna just talk about their sun and their moon. Now I'm gonna talk about their sun moon aspects, and then also talk about, you know what I'm saying, the planetary aspects of the sun and the moon and the alignment that is in, or the sign that is in. So Leo and Gemini Cancer cusp when it comes to his moon and stuff like that, and how that relates and all that. But yeah. Now considering we're sentient, right? And we in existence in some shape and form, right? We able to create these things. So the same way how you look at the sun and the celestial bodies like the sun and the moon, the atmosphere and stuff like that, you have to create your own world, your own space, your own spirit, your own atmosphere and stuff like that. That's how you live in existence, and you're a spirit in a body right now and stuff like that. And your awareness and your attention span and your comprehension is just it's broad enough to take on a human vessel and stuff like that. And then we're gonna keep on going down that train of thought and line of reasoning when it comes to evolution and trying to get our lighter shape and form beyond just a human and stuff like that. But that's a different video. So just in general, right, we create these things and have these different chakras and lines and stuff like that. And these chakras are just wheels. Wheels are just willpowers and stuff like that. So different things we can will into existence. It's just the seven chakras in the seven wheels and stuff like that. It's just different ways we can point to when it comes to understanding the mysticism, aka the mystery, aka the story behind ourselves and stuff like that, of us being spirits and souls, and us have our own space, our own world, and our soul is just our individual space, our individual spirit, our individual world, our subjective worldview, point of view of how to look, how to go about it. And then spirituality is based upon the atmosphere of the land and stuff like that. And then that's based upon the sky and the atmosphere, and then we have the motherland and stuff like that. So that would be like the sun and the atmosphere and stuff like that, and the clouds condensing, and then it condensing into the flesh, aka the land, and it makes the different cities and states and ecosystem that gets derived out the land and all that type shit, the masculine and feminine for the most part, and us being androgynous as spirits and stuff like that. So it's like I feel like I have to pretense all these videos just in general, so you understand the context behind these energies just in general. So we already have these internal energies within ourselves. So the sun is our solar plexus, and then the moon will be like the heart chakra and stuff like that. So from us having a us having like a solar plexus and a sun sign and stuff like that, we already have a mini sun, we already have a mini moon, we already have a mini daughter and stuff like that. So like the sons of gods and like the daughters of men and all that type shit, we already have miniature versions inside of ourselves. That's the main reason we sentient in the first place and stuff like that. So when it comes to astrology and a specific sun pocket based upon the different transitions and stuff like that is based upon, you know what I'm saying, the birth and the time and the place you was born in the Pacific sun pocket of that transition and stuff like that. So that's all that is. So it don't get, so motherfuckers don't get spooked out when they start learning about astrology and they start talking me they start hearing me talk about some spiritual shit, and then motherfuckers start being like, oh, this motherfucker is really into astrology, oh, that shit pseudo because of this, that, and the third, when it's really just talking about the moon and sun transitions. And if you go outside, you see the sun and moon transitions every day. We just have specific names and terminologies and allegories and metaphors to what that is, so it's going to create different sun rays and moon pockets and different characteristics if you was born during that birthplace, the time, and whatever location it was at and stuff like that. So that's the timing, and you being the walking vibration, the walking frequency, the walking star, the walking representation of the foul point of being, aka a star, and stuff like that, from you being a human, of you being a walking vessel representation of what that day is like. So anything when it comes to nano charts and stuff like that, you're just a walking representation of what that day was like when you was born, and then that's it. You know what I'm saying? Your birthday. Now, just in general, right? Because that whole thing in itself, that's a whole different video of me sitting there breaking down like the sun and the moon and stuff like that. I could talk about that for hours and stuff like that. But just in general, right? The sun, it just represents your actions and what you're proactive in. Your father, aka your father's direction, your father's light, right? And your light is just what you give out, provide, and shed light on. So it's like your wants and what you strive for, aka your conveniences. And it's just how you see things, so your viewpoints and what you're consciously aware of, and where you are enlightened, so where you shine your light. So if you're enlightened by something, right, you're in the light, just in general. So if it's light, it's the lighter shape and form, so it's not heavy, it's not condensed. So it's like, so based upon you having your own mind and your own psyche, right, that's your light body, and then your physical body is the flesh, that's your second body. So what you're enlightened by is based upon your awareness and your attention span and what you concentrated on and how much you're able to comprehend it just in general, right? So based upon how broad that is, you're gonna start emanating your own light. So you emanating your own light and stuff like that, it's just you emanating your imagination. Your imagination is based upon your solar plexus. Your solar plexus is based upon your individuality and your gut instincts and stuff like that, intuition, and that's gonna create the yellow metal or gold just in general. So from you creating the gold or what's golden and stuff like that, right, you're going to show your individualistic qualities of what is valuable and what makes you rich in spirit. Something that's rich in spirit just means you're rich in the space that you're in, and you're able to create it again in some shape or form just from your subjective point of view. So you're able to shine your light in many different spectrums, and you have a lot of vibrance, you have a lot of character, you have a lot of confidence, you have a lot of spark. You know what I'm saying? You have a lot of pride or ego in yourself. So an ego is like an eagle, like a bird and stuff like that. So you're overseeing something just in general. So the things you overseeing based upon your, you know what I'm saying, like your viewpoints and your vantage point and stuff like that, is you just distributing the different light spectrums of how you see the world based upon your own visions and your own light and your own way of expressions and stuff like that, to make it like mad simple. So just like the sun, you're going to give off that warmth. You giving off that warmth is just going to be high temperament. Something that's high temperament, I know it's going to get into anger and aggression and stuff like that, but someone who's high temperament and stuff like that, right, is going to bring the heat. You know what I'm saying? If you can't stand the heat, stay out the kitchen or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So it's going to bring a lot of heat. It's going to bring a lot of warmth. It's going to bring a lot of vibrance. It's going to bring a lot of high energy. It's going to bring a lot of passion. You know what I'm saying? It's going to bring a lot of strong emotions and feelings and stuff like that. And a strong emotion and feeling is going to always burn through reality. So it's like that fiery type of feeling. So anyone who comes off fiery, or they got the passion in their eyes and stuff like that, they're going to burn through the reality based upon how they see and feel, based upon their visions and their intuitions, and how they feel about stuff, even if it don't make sense logically or realistically in the physical world, in the flesh and stuff like that. Because you're gonna say it based upon your own imagination and your own vantage point. And then the better you know how to turn your imagination or your subconscious realm and make it conscious, make it reality, make it physical, make it flesh and stuff like that, you're gonna show your magician type skills. Your magician type skills is based upon something that's supernatural. What's the most natural thing you're able to do? You're able to emanate your imaginations. So your imagination, your psyche, is based upon your thoughts, ideas, feelings, and emotions. So the more you're able to make that make sense in the world, right, that's you being the walking star, the walking light, the walking representation, and you're able to fixate your imagination and your visions to make it be seen a certain way, to make it look relatable, to make it look like something, oh, he's shining his light, his spotlight, his creativity, his self-expression, his way of how to go about things, the way he like to go about productivity and all that type shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like turning nothing into something, no shape and form, and then turn it into the shape and form. And that's just the sun overall, to make it like mad simplistic. So it's like your character. Your character is just your charisma and your personality, and you like to externalize that, and then that's it for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Like, I get that co-aligns with like fire signs and stuff like that, but it's the same way how you see the sun, and it's a big ass ball, fiery ball of light and stuff like that, for the most part. So it's the same process, just in general. Now, when it comes to Prettifun, right? His sun is in Leo, just in general, right? So from his sun being in Leo, the sun likes to be in Leo because Leo is ruled by the sun, just in general, and it's gonna take on all these different characteristics. And then Leo is just a fixated fire sign, so it likes to be fixated, stubborn, and adamant of its own way when it comes to seeing and feeling and burn through reality based upon visions and intuition for the most part. So he likes to burn through reality when it comes to Leo-like things. So he likes to be center stage. He likes to be fixated, adamant, and stubborn when it comes to these things. Now, he could be stubborn about it, or he could turn that stubbornness into consistency. But if it's stubborn, it's gonna turn to that prideful type of energy or that arrogance type of energy, to where he wants to play this role or play this character or play this charisma, and it's like the epitome of you saying the same expression or you saying the same joke for attention, and you always gonna keep saying the same joke over and over, and you don't know how to fixate yourself into another joke. So that's when that stubbornness, that's when that consistency is gonna start turning into stubbornness and stuff like that. But he likes to fixate onto that. So it's not like a cardinal sign, so like Aries, like they like to initiate and create a new way of how to go about their fire sign type of energies. And it's not like Sagittarius, so it's not a mutable sign, so they don't like to go mutable, adaptable, and changeable with their own and other people's ways of how they see and feel about things when it comes to their fire sign energy. He like to fixate on that energy. So from him fixated on that energy, right, he likes to make it center stage. Just in general, he likes to be the performer. He likes to be the creative person. He likes to fixate on his creativity. He likes to fixate on romanticizing his passions. He likes to fixate on his inner child. He likes to fixate on his entertainment factor and stuff like that, and what he's entertained by. He likes to fixate on his self-expression, and all that is just fifth house type of energy. And the fifth house is better supported by Leo is better supported by the fifth house, just in general. So the fifth house deals with creativity, romanticizing passions, inner child, your inner child, or making children, just in general. And then making children is like fertility and stuff like that, right? So he has a lot of fertile type of energy, just in general. He likes to create things. He likes to bring things into existence. So that's all that means. So it's like bringing like a little boy or a little girl and stuff like that, and like to raise it up. Look at him bringing a little boy, a little girl, as in him bringing in like it's like him creating a new thought or an ideal. You know what I'm saying? Masculine energy. And then he likes to also create different feelings and emotions also. So that's like a little girl and stuff like that, and he likes to combine that together, and those are just his children and stuff like that. So those are just his creations. So the same way how he makes a whole bunch of different music and a whole bunch of different songs based upon his style of how he likes to make music, just in general, right? He likes to make a lot of different type of songs of what he likes to give life to, because that's what Leo type of energy just is, just in general and stuff like that. It's based upon like what the sun does. The sun likes to give life just in general. So he likes to give life based upon what he's creative in and what he likes to pay attention to, just in general. What he likes to self-express and the things he likes to have fun and enjoy with. Now, he does that when it comes to music and his creativity for the most part. So that's just overall the energy he likes to be in, just in general. So from him being a Leo, he likes to be center stage about the things he likes to be creative about and what he like to entertain. And the thing he like to entertain and be creative about is music, just in general. So from him being born during the summertime, right? He's born during the fixated portion of summertime, just in general, right? So that's Leo. So from him being born during the fixated portion, right? He has a lot of high temperament type of energy. High temperament just means hot. It means spicy. It means enticing. It means enthusiasm. It means a lot of passion behind something. So from him fixated on that energy, just in general, right? He probably come off like that as a person, just in general. He likes to have fun and enjoy himself. He likes to have a lot of self-expression and stuff like that. He likes to have a lot of enthusiasm about the things he like to entertain, just in general. And that's the thing that builds his courage. That's the thing that builds his pride, because he likes to pay attention to it, and he likes to gain more awareness when it comes to these things, because that's the thing that gives him life. That's the thing that just in general gives him a lot of self-expression and stuff like that. So he wants to keep on creating more, because that's the, you know what I'm saying, that's the temperament. So just in general, right, it's above the horizon. So from it being above the horizon, it being above the horizon type sign, so look at that, like Aries through Virgo, and then below the horizon is like Libra through Pisces and stuff like that. From it being above the horizon, just in general, right, he likes to give life to new thoughts. He likes to give life to new feelings. He likes to give life to new ideas and new emotions, and based upon that emotion, right, he's gonna be moving, because emotion is just essentially you moving and stuff like that. It's gonna motivate you strongly to do some things, just in general. And an emotion is just a fixated, I mean, it's just a real specific feeling, because you can feel something about something, but you can't describe the emotion that you in. You just feel something, you just picking up the vibe, but you don't know the exact vibe that you're picking up, just in general. So that's the same way how we have different emoticons and different emojis, and things of that nature, right? So emojis are just specific emotions, just in general. So just in general, when it comes to Prettifun, he likes to make a new emotion, a specific one. I mean, he likes to make a new feeling, because emotions are just specific feelings, just in general. So that's what I mean when I say he likes to add a lot of sentience when it comes to that, and that whole concept, like I was saying earlier, when it comes to thoughts, ideas, feelings, and emotions, aka masculine and feminine, aka boys and girls and stuff like that, and like to let these things grow up and stuff like that. So the same way how he makes a lot of different songs and a lot of different albums and stuff like that, he likes to share his children with the world, aka his creative ideas, just in general, based upon his visions. And that's Leo type energy. He likes to fixate on that so he can be center stage and be the main entertainer and be the main one who self-expression, self-expressing, just in general. So just in general, it's just a masculine type of energy, because Leo is a masculine sign. So from it being a masculine sign, right, he likes to externalize these things. He likes to express these things. Expressions is just pressurized expressions. Anything dealing with that X word, just in general, it means like Xing something out, or you dealing with an X. If it's you dealing with an X, or experiencing, or an or like a representation, like an example, anything dealing with that X word, just in general, right, has something to do with the past, has something to do with the without concept, has something to do with something that happened before, just in general. So you're out the situation. That's why that person is your ex, because you're out of that situation, and you're going to talk about your experiences outside that person. So is you externalizing. So is you expanding and condensing. Is you externalizing and internalizing. So from it being a masculine sign, just in general, right, he likes to externalize these things. So he likes to be out of it, just in general. He likes to be out what he already done condensed into. So he condensed into a certain mind state of how he goes about his thoughts, ideas, feelings, and emotions, and he likes to externalize a new way of how to look at it, just in general. So he likes to express some new type of self-expression in a fiery type of way, in a passionate type of way, in an enthusiastic type of way, just in general. And that's just the template overall. So he don't like to be in that emotion and feeling for too long, because he's going to try to find a new way to express himself outside the feeling he was just in and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That's why, just in general, when it comes to Leos, they come off in that really like courageous or bold or like confident or happy type of energy, like the color yellow and stuff like that. So it's gonna go into like that gold type of synergy and stuff like that. So the reason he like to come off like that, and he don't like to be down and depressed for too long, just in general, right? Because he wants to go through that that seasonal transition, and he wants everything to be summery. He wants everything to be lively and stuff like that. He wants to give life to something, the same way how during the summertime and stuff like that, after spring, where everything is bloom and everything ain't pollinated as much anymore and stuff like that, and everyone to be outside and things of that nature, all the animals, all the people, and all that type of shit. He like to give a summery type of vibe, just in general, because that's what he fixate on, which is just the Leo energy, just in general. And then Neptune is exalted in Leo. Neptune deals with your dreams and imagination and your creativity and illusions and stuff like that, and your intuitive outlook. So just in general, right, based upon Neptune being what I just said, like dreams, illusions, and imagination and creativity and stuff like that, right, and it been exalted in Leo, something being exalted, it just means you can over exhaust yourself doing something, but it's also the fantasy or the peak of how you like to feel about something. You can just over exalt yourself when it comes to something. So that's like you really liking candy, but you could get a sugar rush, and you can overdose on eating too much sweetness. You can overdose on eating too much candy and stuff like that. So yeah, a little kid is gonna fuck with eating a lot of different candy and shit like that, but you can end up getting a cavity if you end up over exalting yourself, or you end up having like a sugar crash and stuff like that from eating too much goddamn candy because you got a sugar rush or something like that. So it's the same example, just in general. So from it being exalted in Neptune, he likes to be exalted into his dream world, his fantasy world, wherever creativity he's working on, just in general and stuff like that. And he can just over exhaust himself into whatever fantasy of where he see himself as, whatever intuitive outlook that he got, he can get too stuck in that dream. He can get too stuck in that imagination. And then again, it's still a fixed sign. So it can turn into stubbornness. So he can get stubborn about a specific way of how he wants to self-express about himself. He can get stuck into a specific way when it comes to how he wants to entertain or whatever he's paying attention to. He can get too lost into that illusion of what it means to be entertaining just in general and stuff like that. So he wants to appease, or he feel like he has to keep up a certain factor of how he's seen as a celebrity or as a star or like as a representation when it comes to his music and stuff like that, right? So it's like it's like that. Like in a Leo mind, it don't matter if it's good attention or bad attention, even though you should give a fuck about that of how people be looking at you. But as long as someone is paying attention to them, and then just in general, he likes to be around other motherfuckers who also get a lot of attention just in general, because it's gonna be based upon some type of self-expression or some type of creativity and stuff like that, or some type of passion. And he wants to understand, oh, what made them that passionate? He wants to understand, oh, what made them have that much fun and enjoying themselves? Oh, what made that person be center stage like that? What made that person want to be entertaining like that? So based upon what he likes to entertain, which is just music and stuff like that, and then him being looked up as a rising star when it comes to the underground, and him being an idol and stuff like that, he can get too lost into that illusion, because Neptune still has to deal with illusions and stuff like that. So he can get caught into an illusion of how he's supposed to be seen as an artist, as a creative and stuff like that, based upon what people are paying attention to in the underground and things of that nature. That's why he be saying shit like that on his stories and stuff like that. He be saying like, oh yeah, I ruined Rage because of this, that, and the third. Or he'll say some shit like, oh, this whole thing is dying out and stuff like that. Or they be doing this behind closed door because of this, that, and the third. Or like I feel like retiring and I don't like this position that I'm in because of this, that, and the third. It's because of that. Because he's going to be paying attention what other people be paying attention to, because he's the main center stage of how to get attention just in general. So because he feels like he represents a certain scene, and that's the thing that everyone is paying attention to, and these are his peers, he's saying here like, oh, I'm a walking example of what it means to be this. So I have to uphold this dream or this fantasy of what it means to be a part of this. And he like, some of this shit, I don't even like being a part of it and stuff like that. But we going to get there, because it's going to start getting to his moon about the world that he in, or why he feel like that. His sun is just what he strives for when it comes to the representation. So yeah, he wants to be the center stage performer, entertainer, and representation of what it means to be that, of how to get attention, how to get that. But the moon is just how he feels about it. Like his personal point of view when it comes to his emotions and feelings about how he feels about how he's seen. So he probably don't even give a fuck like that about how he's seen, unless he has validation issues. But he probably don't give a fuck like that when it comes to the attention he get, regardless if it's good or bad, just in general. But the way how he feels about it in his internal world is probably gonna feel different compared to how he's seen in a public eye. Like, you get it? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. See, and then that's in general, that's something he can learn from Aries, because the sun is exalted in Aries and stuff like that, and then Leo is better supported by the sun. So his other brethren, his other fire sign companion, which is like an Aries and stuff like that, right? He can learn that from Aries, because Aries like to initiate and create new ways of how to see and feel just in general. So from them initiating and creating a new way of how to do it, they know how to individualize something. Right? So from them learning how to individual something, because it's the first sign and it's in the first house. So they know how to put themselves first. So they're just going to lead head charge in some way of how to go about it just in general. And then the things that happen after the fact, they'll just worry about it after the fact. From the fact it's like a Leo and stuff like that, he can be center stage of how it's seen, but he's still going to pay attention to how other people see him. Like, you know, like in a Leo mind, they look at it like, okay, I'm still getting attention, regardless if it's positive or negative, but I still gotta hold up this character that I done created for myself to keep getting attention. And the thing they be stubborn about is staying in that one character instead of trying to transform and make it changeable into another type of character, but it's still true to, you know what I'm saying, what they like to self-express themselves about, what they like to entertain. But the minute they don't know how to do that, that's how they end up falling off, and then you end up being like some super narcissistic ass Aries, or super narcissistic ass Leo, or some shit like that, where they got like some type of ego about them, and they don't know how to self-reflect just in general. You know what I'm saying? They don't know how to see the dark side or the other side of how they seen this in general. They just want to be all love and light and shit like that, when sometimes life ain't about that. it's about the ups and downs. You just want to ride that high, but you have to also go through the lows too. So you just want to keep on playing this character and be the performer on stage of what you done created for yourself, because that's how you like to self-express yourself. But you need to understand you can't self-express yourself that same way every single time and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to move in a room full of vultures and stuff like that. You have to make that adaptable. So you have to work on your charisma just in general. If you keep on playing that one character or that one type of charisma and keep being stubborn about that one, and you don't know how to make it consistent into other different ways than just that one way, aka look at that as just you being yourself, not trying to be yourself or who you was 5 years ago, because that's the thing that's going to get the most attention. But we can move on from that consciousness wave, and we don't give a fuck about what you paying attention to no more and stuff like that. And that's not the way to get attention no more, or how you can get on and stuff like that. That's how you end up getting left in the dust and stuff like that, and then no one end up paying attention to your ass. And Leos hate that shit. Oh God, they hate that shit. Now, we're going to get into the moon and stuff like that. So the moons deal with the emotions, feelings, reactions, responses, redirecting, mental health, self-reflection, and self-introspection. So it's like your internal world. It's who you really are. It's based upon your comfort zones and stuff like that, right? So it's like your subconscious awareness and who you actually are internally. And it's going to turn into your needs and your mother. So your mother is like, you know what I'm saying? Like the sun is like your father, and then the moon is like your mother. Your father is going to show you the father's direction of how to go about something, aka being a man, and how to externalize. You know what I'm saying? How to give out and provide something. And then based upon you making your own perception about something, just in general. If you're perceiving something, right, you're going to externalize something. So it's going to be based upon your point of view. And then if you receiving something, you're receiving what's already being perceived. So that's like your mother and stuff like that. So it's going to create a womb, and it's going to be turn into something you're receiving and something you're taking in. So it's going to be based upon you supporting or you caring about what's already being externalized, or the thing that's already being provided. So that's how you learn your nurturing, caring type of energies, right? So you're going to end up taking that in, and it's going to create a comfort zone. And that comfort zone is basically like your internal mirror and stuff like that. So it's like your mood and your phases, just in general. So the same way how the moon go through different phases and stuff like that, okay, you're going to go through different emotions and feelings and stuff like that. So it's like a woman on her period and stuff like that per month, just in general, right? So in an overall perspective, right, it's just your moods and your comfort zones and your internal realm and your emotions and feelings and your reactions and responses of what your sun is doing, just in general. So it's the way you actually feel inside before you start verbalizing it or you start externalizing it. So the sun will kind of be like your yang, and then the moon will kind of be like your yin. Now, when it comes to his moon, he has a Gemini, Cancer, cusp. It's just more in Cancer. So when you have a cusp, it's going to kind of create this confusion type of energy, because it's going to make you pick between two dichotomies, but you kind of stuck in between both. You know what I'm saying? You be trying to ride the fence between two different things. It's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's going to take the last legs of what Gemini's doing, and he basically utilizes that to help him do the Cancer shit. But the Cancer shit, he's like a baby in for the most part. That's why it's a cusp. But and it's also more in Cancer. So it's like he know how to go about Gemini shit when it comes to his moon, aka his emotions and feelings and his comfort zones and the things he be internalizing just in general, right? And the things he be attracting towards him and the things he be taking in, aka his womb in the world that he's in. But it's like he's a baby when it comes to the Cancer shit, when it comes to that dichotomy. So it's a Gemini Cancer cusp. So it's the last legs of what the Gemini moon part is doing, and he's trying to utilize that to basically break through into the Cancer shit. But the Cancer shit, he's still learning just in general. And then the moon like to be in Cancer just in general, right? But it's gonna create that cusp type of energy where he be stuck between two dichotomies, and he be confused about which comfort zone he want to pick. Do I want to do the Gemini shit, or do I want to do Cancer shit? And depending on the situation, it'd be like, yeah, I gotta pick a poison. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. But just in general, right? From it being a Gemini Cancer cusp, he likes to be mutable, adaptable, and changeable with his own and other people's ways when it comes to thinking and communicating, when it comes to logic and rationality. So look at that as like intelligence or articulated just in general. And while also initiating, creating new ways to deal with the emotions and feelings when it comes to, you know what I'm saying, like soaking into an emotion and feeling. So it's like him internalizing something just in general. And it's going to be based upon some type of comfort zone or what makes him feel at home or family or domestic issues or things he be doing in private just in general, right? Or like, you know what I'm saying, like private sectors. like, you know what I'm saying? Like making things like sacred, just in general, like things that make him feel comfortable, things that make him feel at home and stuff like that. Something that has to deal with some type of womb that he put himself in of how he receives. So something that he likes to receive that makes him feel good, and he don't really care about how the external world may feel about it. That's the thing that makes him feel at home. That's the thing that makes him feel at peace. That's the thing that helps him recharge and help him be him just in general. It's something he keeps sacred. It's something that he nurtures. It's something that he cares for and stuff like that. Just in general, when it comes to fourth house type of energies and Cancer type of energies. Now, Gemini is better supported by the third house. The third house has to deal with being socially aware when it comes to close friends, family, and interaction, when it comes to your local environment, surroundings, and what you're familiar with, just in general, right? So it's going to be based upon some type of, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be based upon you being socially aware because it's an air pocket. It's an air house, right? So it's going to be you utilizing a lot of communication and thinking and intellect when it comes to your surroundings, when it comes to things that are close to you. So things that are in your local environment, just in general, or the things you're just familiar with growing up in your local area, in your environment, just in general, right? And based upon that, right, him having a Gemini Cancer cusp and him being in between both of these two energies and stuff like that, right? Gemini is a springtime type sign, and then Cancer is a summertime type sign, right? And then Gemini is just the last legs of what be going on during springtime and stuff like that. So the last leg, so everything basically everything already done got pollinated and stuff like that, right? Everything is starting to bloom again, right? Everything is starting to grow again, just in general, right? And then it's gonna slowly start to transition and initiate into summertime. Right, so that's what happens during Cancer season. So the minute they start initiating during summertime and stuff like that, right? The pollen ain't in the air. The pollen ain't in the air just as often as it used to be and stuff like that. And motherfuckers ain't gotta keep on taking fucking Zyrtec and Claritin and all that type shit. I'm basically talking about me because I'm allergic to pollen, man. Fuck that shit. But like, yeah. And motherfuckers can just be outside just to be outside and stuff like that. Everyone gonna be start wearing like they short sleeves and they shorts and stuff like that, right? And then the temperature is gonna start getting higher, hotter and stuff like that. So just in general, right, when it comes to his moon, he likes to be in high temperament type of situations just in general, right? So it's like the thing I was saying before, right? It's that transition between that spring, and springtime is just springing something off. So it's like germinating a seed. So during the springtime, that's the time to germinate something and then spring off the seeds on how to go about it. It's just during that time when it comes to Gemini, right, you're being mutable, adaptable, changeable with your own and other people's ways when it comes to thinking and communicating. That's why they're the communication type of signs, and they know how to create new different ways when it comes to springing off a new way to think, and they always be trying to make it relative with how other people think just in general. And from him having that cusp into Cancer, he's going to utilize that to initiate and create a new way to deal with an emotion and feeling based upon the environment and surrounding he's in, about how he also thinks and how other people thinks just in general. And he's going to make a comfort zone around it just in general. And then Cancer, the moon likes to be in Cancer. So it's like that with both his placements just in general, right? Because he still has that cusp, but because there's a little bit more in Cancer, yeah, the moon like to be in Cancer because Cancer is better supported by the moon, just in general. So the same way how the sun is better supported by Leo, the moon is better supported by Cancer, just in general. So from him having both of these different energies and stuff like that, right? The only thing he has to worry about is having certain missteps when it comes to that Gemini side. So it's that overthinking side. It's that over-analytical side and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's him paying attention too much about what other people think and overthinking his ass about it, or trying to have some type of left brain logic and rationality of how to look at it all the time and stuff like that, because he's going to have that dichotomy and that cusp between that Cancer side, which is more right brain, aka the creative side, the emotion, the feeling, the intuition, and the logical side, the left brain, the intellect, the rationality, it making sense in reality and practicality and all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? And based upon him understanding that air pocket from that Gemini side, right, he's going to always try to find that little air pocket or that breath of fresh air based upon the thing that people are intellectualizing or trying to make sense out of, or people, or the thing everyone else is thinking about, and he want to make a comfort zone out of it. So it just goes back into the title of this video. I'm going to scroll up. Yeah, the title of this video, Center Stage, about communicating comfort or discomfort just in general. So that's a thing he likes to do just in general. His moon sign is going to go based upon him communicating about his comfort zone, and his sun sign is going to be him being center stage about that. So he's either going to be communicating about his comfort, or he's going to be communicating about his discomfort about something. But either way it go, he's going to be center stage about it. Either way it go, he's going to be that self-expression just in general, right? So Leos and Cancers just in general, from it being the sun and the moon, right? They like to be in that genuine type of quality just in general. So they like to express themselves based upon what other people are thinking just in general. So they the type of motherfuckers to do something and say something that they know everyone else is thinking, but no one else is saying it though. You know what I'm saying? No one else is saying that shit. So they like, okay, I'ma just say it then. And not in like a Aries or Taurus type way, right? Because they can overexhaust themselves into that energy. Cancer and Leos, they do that energy and they know how to come off relatable and do it. You know what I'm saying? That's why Leos always get that bold and courageous type of thing, because, or like they have a lot of charisma and character, and that take them further in life. So they might not have a lot of intelligence in a left brain type way. You know what I'm saying? So they might not be that book smart, but their charisma and their character will literally carry them. Their self-expression and the way they have like a personality just in general, and the way they express themselves, it will take them way further, even if they dumb as fuck in the left brain. Even if they dumb as fuck when it comes to like a job or something like that, compared to someone else in a job interview. Someone else can have the same qualities and have all the requirements for that job and can do that job better than someone else. But that Leo got such a good interview based upon their self-expression and their charisma, and they don't know half of what the person with the requirements even have when it comes to their capabilities and their abilities when it comes to that job. But they will get hired compared to somebody else because of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all that is. Because that's what they pay attention to. They like to pay attention to what other people pay attention to. And they like to make themselves center stage based upon that expression and make a comfort zone around it. So that's Cancer-like energy just in general, right? So it's like they want to make a comfort zone about what other people like to express themselves in. So whatever arena they put themselves in, they're just going to make a character, or they're going to make a charisma, or they're going to make a temperament, and they're going to be like, okay, I could be a source of this energy based upon how I learn how to be myself. Me being myself is based upon some type of self-expression. My self-expression is based upon me knowing myself and how much I can express, aka, like I was saying earlier, you're Xing yourself out of something. I can externalize what's being pressurized and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So the thing that everyone else is in the world that everybody else is in, I know how to externalize out of that to have a unique quality to go about my individuality, so people can like my way of how I like to express myself compared to everybody else in the world who probably gonna come off dull and boring, or they want to fit into a societal norm. We all can fit into that societal norm, but my way of how I fit into that societal norm is more relatable, or it's more self-expressive, or it's more courageous, or it's more individualized compared to somebody else and stuff like that. And people are going to like those qualities based upon a Cancer and Leo just in general. So that's the same way when it comes to Prettifun just in general. That's the shit he be thinking about. He wants to be center stage about communicating his comfort or discomfort about something. If it's like a discomfort and stuff like that, right? He's gonna use his platform to be seen in a certain way about what the fuck he don't like, just in general. And then he want to see how other people talk about it, because he already paying attention to what other people are talking about, just in general. So he like, okay, I'm gonna extract this, and then I'm gonna be the first one to express the thing that everyone else is actually thinking based upon, you know what I'm saying? Like the scenery. I'm scoping the scenery. Okay, this is the issue. This is the problem. Okay, I'm going to just be the one to say it regardless of how I look. And then I'm going to get attention for it just in general, because I can see that's how everyone is. I can see that's the dialogue. I can see that's the thing everyone else is paying attention to. But I was just one of few people who actually express myself as that character in that light as, man, this shit ain't it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so just in general, right? The only thing he has to really worry about, right, is like him having that Gemini, Cancer cusp, while also having that Sun and Leo just in general, right? They're both above the horizon type signs. So they're both born during the spring and the summer and stuff like that. So that's like creating something and bringing something to life just in general. So he has a lot of lively type of energy just in general, right? Now, his Cancer, or his Sun and his Moon placements, they don't really get into the way of each other just in general, right? And the reason they don't get in the way of each other because they right next to each other. Because Leo comes after Cancer, and Gemini and Cancer come before Leo just in general, but it's more in Cancer. when it comes to his placements in Pacific. So they kind of don't get away. Like, it's like his actions and his reactions, they don't get in the way of each other. The way he expresses himself, the way he expresses himself, and the way he is behind closed doors, or the way how he internalizes things, or his comfort zone, they don't really get in the way of each other. So the way how he act when it comes to his personality and the way he's seen and stuff like that in public, just in general, is going to be one way, and it's going to match to if you met him in person. It's not really that different. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can tell, like, oh, okay, he's really comfortable in the way he like to express himself. And the main thing he like to do just in general is be center stage about communicating his comfort and discomfort. So it's like you're going to know it from the jump. You're going to know the things he like to be comfortable with and the people he like to hang around, and how he like to be clicked up with certain people. And you know the people who he don't really fuck with like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's not going to come off in a hating type way. It's going to come off like, oh, that's just what it is and stuff like that. That's just how I like to conduct myself just in general. Now, the only problem is the different elements and modalities and stuff like that, because Leo is a fixated fire sign, and then his moon is in Gemini and Cancer. So Gemini is a mutable air sign, and then Cancer is a cardinal water sign and stuff like that. So the only thing that's going to come confusing is, for one, he got a cuss, and then two, all those different elements and modalities when it comes to his sun, and his moon, just in general. So the way he acts and the thing he be proactive in, and the way he like to shed his light on things and the things he be enlightened by is like real Leo like, just in general. So it's gonna be he gonna be real center stage, or fixated and stubborn and adamant or consistent in his Leo ways, with the way he likes to emanate his visions and the way he likes to burn through a reality, just in general. But when it comes to his emotions and feelings and the things he likes to internalize and the things he likes to take in and nurture, and things of that nature, right? He likes to make a part of his world, because it's two different things. His sun is just the way he expresses that and the way he's going to be seen as like a star body, just in general, right? He likes to make his mentality be seen, but his moon is just the world that he's in. You get what I'm saying? You have to look at the whole thing like a space. You have to look at the whole thing like a bubble and stuff like that. His sun just going to show how that world is going to be seen. His moon is just going to show what's inside that bubble. You know what I'm saying? Like, if that makes sense. The whole picture is going to be seen in a Leo type way, the imagery, but the meaning behind it is going to be in a real Gemini Cancer like meaning. You know what I'm saying? That's the world he's going to be absorbed into, just in general. So the minute you go inside that bubble, you go inside his world, it's going to come off more Gemini and Cancer like. So it's probably going to come off really expressive the way it's seen. It's probably going to come off really really enthusiastic and stuff like that. It's probably going to come off real dramatic. It's probably going to come off real entertaining though. You know what I'm saying? But the minute you start going inside his world, it's going to come off in the opposite type way. You know what I'm saying? Like, it not even like the opposite type way. I shouldn't say that. Not even like the opposite type way. It's just going to come off a little bit different compared to how it looks, how it's seen. When you start going into the unseen, like, that's like if you knew him more personally, or like behind closed doors, and you started going inside his world and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? You start like doing a deep dive in all his interviews, and you start to really analyze how he is as a person. You're going to start seeing those qualities, his moon, his Gemini and Cancer side, him communicating his comforts and his discomforts and stuff like that. He just likes to turn that into a way of, oh, I'm gonna be seen for what I like to communicate about when it comes to my comforts and my discomforts and shit like that, just in general. So based upon those different modalities and stuff like that, right? It's like his internal realm, just in general, right, is gonna come off way more watery, and it's gonna come off way more airy. So what does that mean? So from like it coming off way more airy and stuff like that, he can come off airheaded. It's gonna be a lot of analytical side. It's going to have a lot of thinking. It's going to have a lot of observation. It's going to have a lot of communication, right? And then it's also going to come off in a watery type of side, right? So from it coming off in a watery type of side, right, it's going to create a cloud. A cloud is made of air and water, just in general, right? So from it's, you know what I'm saying, it's going to emit this type of cloud, this type of mist, to where, okay, you can see the way he feel about that, but you're also going to see the logic and rationality behind why he feel like that. So he likes to intellectualize the way he feel, but the way he comes off when it comes to his expression, it comes off like he don't give a fuck about that. You get what I'm saying? Because fire signs, they like to be shapeless and formless and stuff like that. They like to express themselves in a multitude of different ways. So it can come off one way when it comes to his expression. He don't really give a fuck. But then the minute you start analyzing why he's expressing himself like that, you start to see the clouds. You start to see the mist. You start to see the atmosphere. You start to see, oh, he had to sit there and think a lot about how he feels. And he likes to intellectualize how he feels. And he utilizes that to make it so he can be seen and he can express himself a certain way. And then that's it. You know what I'm saying? That's it.